じゃあちょっとご紹介佐藤君からお願いいたします。
Yeah, today we have guest from the Gnosis, from Consensus. Today's presenter is the founder of this Gnosis, Stefan Geoge, and the prediction market is various usage, and today's the talk is cover from the public one and the private one, and also the Gnosis is serving the private predictive markets as a service. So it's a great opportunity to hear that. So enjoy it, and please do the presentation.
Yes, I would like to ask you to do the two-way communication. So I would like to everyone to ask questions, discussions with you.
Of course. Ask questions anytime, or maybe after the presentation is done, and then happy to answer all of them. So I have no time pressure. You can ask whatever you want. Yeah, now I can see you. All right. Then I start sharing my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great.
じゃあ始めたいと思います。なるべく質問はいつでもいいってことなので、じゃんじゃんしてください。英語でお願いします。
All right. Can you see my presentation?
Yeah.
見えますか?
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Thank you very much for the introduction. So I'm Stefan George. I'm the technical co-founder of Gnosis, and at Gnosis we try to help our users to forecast the future using prediction markets. So what actually is a prediction market? Even if you have not heard about the term prediction market ever before, maybe you have already used one, because a very prominent example of a prediction market is sports betting market. So this is a screenshot of a website called betfair.com. Betfair.com is the biggest sports betting market. So people who go on this who go to this website, they are not betting against the bookmaker like on many traditional websites, but here it's really a market. So users bet against other users. And you can do bets on all kind of events. So this here is the match Germany versus France during the European Championship. That was just a couple of weeks ago. And you see there are many different bets here. Let's have a look at this one. So this one is which team will score the first goal within 90 minutes. Actually, how the first goal will be scored. Will it be scored with the right foot or the left foot, or the header, or with anything else? So arbitrary bets actually. And what those odds here, these are the odds, indicate is how likely something is going to happen. So those odds are defined by what the market believes is the right outcome. And how those odds translate is, like, if I'm betting that someone will score with the right foot, I will get 1.8 times my investment back. If I bet on someone will score with the left foot, I will get 3.25 times my investment back. So I will have much more earnings if I bet on left foot and someone actually scores with the left foot. Why is this? Because, of course, it's much less likely that someone will score with the left foot compared to the right foot. So this is a very dumb example. It still exists, but just to get an idea on what the prediction market is. So people place those orders. The orders indicate how likely something is going to happen. And in this case, it's just more likely that someone will score with the right foot. Another very interesting prediction market that was especially important for the Ethereum community is this one. This is a screenshot of the Kraken exchange. It shows the trading pair of DAO and Ether. And this is just a couple of weeks old, at a time when there was no hard fork yet, and people were discussing should we do a hard fork or not. And at the time when DAO tokens were sold, they were sold at the beginning of the crowd sale for 0.01 ETH. And then the attack happened, and the price dropped, obviously, because it was not really clear if anyone would get their investment back. So the price dropped to 0.04004, and then was going up and down all the time, depending on if people believe that there will be a bailout or not, if there will be a hard fork or not. And yeah, so the price changed, and this is a screenshot that I took a couple of weeks ago before the hard fork, and at that time the price was 0.00785, and as we know, either there will be no hard fork, then the DAO tokens will be worthless, so they have the price of 0, or there will be a bailout, and then you can exchange them back for the original price of 0.01. You can translate this price to a probability of 78.5 chance of a hard fork. So the market was predicting the chance of a hard fork. Yeah, this is the same website after the hard fork. We see the price is back to 0.01. So you could say the prediction market was resolved, and now the price is 0.01. So yeah, the hard fork was applied. So why should you build this on Ethereum? We have built a different prediction market on Bitcoin. It uses Bitcoin as currency. However, the service itself is on a server, centralized. And that's why in many countries we had to shut the service down. So we just show, yeah, sorry, we cannot operate in this country. In this case, it's the UK. We are not allowed to operate there anymore. However, with Ethereum, with Gnosis, we can build it in a way that you don't have to rely on a centralized server anymore, but the business logic is completely executed on a decentralized service. So what are the short-term and long-term advantages? For the short term, for us it's very useful that we don't have to protect the user funds. If people are betting on Gnosis, we don't have any liability other than with Fairlay, where we have to spend quite a lot of time and people try to hack us many times. On the other hand, the user has the advantage that he doesn't have to trust us. So especially many services in the Bitcoin world, actually like many services at all on the internet, are not maybe that trustworthy. So there is always, they have to be trust created first. Same was with Fairlay. People started to deposit only small amounts, tried out the service, and then when they thought that this is something secure, then they started depositing bigger amounts. And now with Gnosis, it's obvious that we don't have any control over this, but it's just a smart contract, and yeah, that's it. And yeah, so censorship resistant, that's obvious advantage. The biggest advantage we believe that Ethereum has for services, like for any kind of platform services, we believe is that we can create a platform that is permissionless. And what does this mean? So let's take some examples from the real world, like Uber and Lyft both offer the same service. And of course, it would be much better for users, for customers of those services, as well as for the providers, if those services would be combined, if users would not have to go to one service or the other, but they would have one platform where they can book their rides or can book any kind of service. It's the same also for betting services. That's the same maybe for web shops and so on. However, of course, Uber would never join a Lyft platform, and Lyft would never join an Uber platform, because they want to have control over this, and that's why this would never work in a scenario where one joins a web service of another. However, if we have now a platform that's open and permissionless that can be created on Ethereum, they would still have the guarantee to have some influence, and the platform would not be owned by one of the competitors. That's why we hope that we can get many parties involved joining Gnosis as a platform. What will be required to have really efficient markets? So the more people you can can leverage into one platform, into one market, the more efficient the market will be. And that's really crucial for any kind of platform. So yeah, what kind of so what kind of applications can we actually build with Gnosis? So we already have the sports betting example, so gambling, sports betting, whatever. But you can also do a lot of different things with prediction markets, like buying and selling information. Like if you're interested in the price of an artwork, for example, you could start a prediction market saying, what is the value of this artwork? And then everyone who has a better idea or who believes that he has more knowledge than you have can make an arbitrage on the current market, earning money with his knowledge. That's actually like one of the main concepts of prediction markets, is that it basically fosters insider trading. So if you have more knowledge in the market, then you will trade this knowledge for money. And this is especially available if it's about price discovery. Then another possibility would be insurance. So basically every house insurance that you do is a bet that your house will burn down. Yeah, so if your house burns down, then you win the bet, then you get money. That's the same what an insurance does. So it could be also transformed into a prediction market. But then we have incentivizing and decision making. And so I want to focus today on decision making, because that's what will bring us to the application of prediction markets inside companies and enterprises. And yeah, so let's see how this would work. So how would you use prediction markets in companies? So what kind of problem have we discovered with companies that we could solve? So if you look at companies today, companies in Germany, and I think also companies in Japan, they all work in a similar way. They have very strong hierarchies, and decisions are made from top to down. So basically the top managers decide, and then employees execute. And this top-down decision making prevents, and the strong hierarchy prevents that there's information that employees have is reaching the top and can influence decision making. And that's actually bad, because there's so much knowledge in the company that is not leveraged, that this can cause some really bad decisions. I guess you've heard, or maybe you've heard about the scandal in Volkswagen, the emission scandal, where they made decisions to manipulate the software to cheat emission tests, and this cost the company a lot of money. It's not bankrupt, but it's really a lot of money. So 11 million cars were manipulated, and I think they recently agreed to a $15 billion US settlement with American car owners. And maybe something like this could be prevented if you try to leverage the knowledge of employees trying to use this to signal that there's something wrong in the company, and you should probably interfere in what's happening right now. So the question is, how can we actually do this? How can we use the wisdom of the crowd, your employees, to make better decisions? Maybe first giving some examples, like what kind of predictions would be also useful maybe for Microsoft. So one thing, I guess there are quite a bit of engineers here in this room. Some people who have some experience with programming, and I guess all programmers know that when it comes to predicting the launch date of your product, you're probably wrong. So whenever I make an estimate, how much time will you need for this feature, I'm most likely wrong. So it will take like 2 times of the time that I actually predict. And now it would be probably much better if you use a prediction market where your whole team is participating and judging on how likely something is actually going to happen. So what would be the actual launch date of your product? That would certainly be something quite interesting, and would probably predict a much more precise date than if you ask a single employee. Yeah, other predictions, maybe like where will we expand next, or if you want to get feedback. Basically, if you want to get feedback in your development cycle, you could always try to make a prediction market out of this. Getting feedback of the employees, like what would be the best direction to make to improve our current product, or what kind of feature should be added next. And also, maybe if it comes to production, or to the prediction of how successful a specific product will be, try to ask this. You can try to ask any kind of question, even like really crucial ones, like should we fire the CEO? Maybe the CEO would not like to do this, to ask this question, but maybe this is just a question that should be asked maybe every year or so by default. And then people could participate in this process of predicting if the value of the company would be actually more under this assumption that there would be a different CEO. Yeah, so basically everything that could be of strategic importance is something that a prediction market may help with. But yeah, let's see how we could set up this in a company. So a prediction market only works if someone has something at stake. So if I just do a vote in this room and we vote, let's say, or we do any kind of vote without anyone having anything at stake, we would just do some guesses, but would not spend much time on it. But as soon as we say, okay, everyone in the room has to put in like $100 or $200, and you will only get your money back if your decision was right, or you will only earn money if your decision was right, you will try to spend a lot more time on thinking if his decision was if this actually makes sense or not. So there has to be something at stake. The problem, however, is that you will probably not give money to your employees to start betting on this. But you should maybe use something like a fake, like play money basically, something that can be exchanged for something else. That is for of some value for employees. So maybe you could say that your yearly bonus depends on the performance that you have in prediction markets. So only if you made good decisions during the last year, predicting on markets for your company, you will get a percentage of your bonus or a higher bonus, or any other kind of compensation, and maybe even making the current high score public, so you could see that like who's performing best in your company. And maybe you could even promote people based on good high scores, saying, okay, this employee did very good decisions during the last year, so he's probably an expert in his field. Otherwise, he couldn't have done it, and that's why he should have more influence in this company. So yeah, I already talked a little bit about this. What's the advantage of using prediction markets? Let's compare to traditional voting. Every one of you has a vote, and the majority wins. We will make a decision based on this, but we don't know if that's actually a good decision or not. We just assume that the majority is right, but that might not be the case. The problem is that you can just vote. You don't really have anything at risk when you vote, and you're not responsible for the effect of their vote. So that's maybe also a problem, maybe a little bit in a democracy, that people can just vote and then they are not held responsible for the effect of their vote. And also voters cannot show how confident they are about their vote. So there's no way for you to say, okay, I think I'm very, very sure about this, or I have no clue. You can still vote with the same vote. And yeah, so everyone's equal, but this doesn't really favor expert knowledge, and we believe that it would be good to have experts having more influence in decisions. So, as said, like in prediction market, everyone bets money or something of value on the outcome that they believe should win. So put your money where your mouth is. And then you could say, okay, whatever the outcome with most money, it wins. This would already solve at least the problem of everyone has the same equal vote. However, the problem is that in this case, still people cannot be held responsible for the effect that their vote has, and that's why there's another concept called Futarchy, which is an improved decision making using prediction markets. And yeah, so I will explain you this concept. Futarchy has been developed by Robin Hanson, who is the father of prediction markets. The idea is that you use different markets, they predict on the same value, but under different conditions, and then you make the decision based on the market who predicts the higher value. I give an example in a minute. That's especially important in the context also of Ethereum, because now we have many decentralized applications running on top of Ethereum, and somehow you have to make decisions in those organizations. And as said, like voting might work, but there are other options like Futarchy, and then probably it would outperform traditional voting. And then, yeah, you would, like shareholders of those organizations could all participate in this governance process. So let me give you an example. That's something that was also presenting at the Tokyo SmartCon Tokyo conference. So how can we prevent the Brexit with Gnosis? So you all heard about the Brexit. The United Kingdom decided, the people in the United Kingdom decided with a majority, very slight majority, that it would be better to exit the European Union. And yeah, so this was from an economical perspective, it was a disaster because the International Monetary Fund already predicts now that the economic growth in the whole Eurozone will shrink by around 0.5% just because of this event. So from an economical perspective, it's really a disaster. So how could we prevent this with Gnosis, making a decision based on a prediction market? So first we define what should be decided. We want to make the decision, should the United Kingdom leave the European Union? And then we have to think about a success metric. So a metric that we want to evaluate in order to make the decision. And now let's assume we would use the value of the British pound compared to the US dollar. And then we would create two markets. One market predicting what will be the value of the British pound in 6 months if the UK is leaving EU, so if there's a Brexit. And one market, what is the value of the British pound in 6 months if the United Kingdom does not leave the European Union? And so the way how it would work is that we open the trading for both markets, and then everyone can place bets on both markets. And then after a specific time, let's say 2 or 3 weeks, we make a decision if you want to leave the European Union based on the market which predicts the higher value of the British pound. So if the market indicates saying we should leave the EU is predicting a higher value of the British pound in 6 months, then the market that says we should not leave the EU, then we should do a Brexit, otherwise we should stay. To make this a little bit more clear, let's have a look at this chart. So let's see start when we create the markets. Yeah, so this chart here is saying no Brexit, this chart is saying Brexit. And after we start, everyone can trade and predict the value of the British pound after 6 months. And then people start trading, and now let's assume that's what would have been very likely to happen, that the value of the British pound would have been predicted with a lower value on the Brexit market compared to the no-Brexit market. And now, let's say we wait for those 3 weeks here. After 3 weeks, the decision is made if we should stay or leave the European Union. And at this time, we know that the no-Brexit market predicts a higher value compared to the Brexit market. And that's why we decide that we will do, that the UK will not leave the European Union. What happens is, because the Brexit does not happen, this market stops. So this market, everyone loses all their shares. It's worthless. However, the no Brexit market continues. And then after 6 months, so let's say at the end of 2016, we know what the actual value of the British pound is. And at that time, we can resolve this market, and then we can pay out all the winnings and losses to everyone who was predicting on the no Brexit market. So it seems like a nice concept. However, there are some risks and something that has to be considered. One important thing is that like the indicator that you are choosing to make the decision is probably not only influenced by the event you are deciding on. So, for example, the value of the British pound is not only influenced by the decision if there should be a Brexit or not, but by many, many other events. And that's why there could be, in theory, another event that would be maybe even stronger, would have an even stronger influence than the than the Brexit, and it would still influence the decision if there should be a Brexit or not. And that's of course something that you would not like to have. So it would be like, for those decisions you would have to make much more precise indicators, maybe combining different indicators to give a real good estimate. Another problem would be market manipulation. So if there are bigger players who have just a lot of money or somehow shares that they can use to participate in this process, they could try to manipulate the markets to make a decision in their favor. And and another issue is that depending on the decision, some participants in the market have advantages compared to others because they have hedging possibilities, meaning they benefit from one decision even more than anyone else. Let's say you are a trader and you would benefit if there would be higher customs between the European Union and UK, because you're mainly selling in the UK market and you fear European competition. Then you have a hedging advantage compared to everyone else in the market because you would benefit in addition from this outcome. And you could use this to put even more money than anyone else on this market. Because this is a very new concept, we are doing some research on this, and we received a dev grant by the Ethereum Foundation to do some crypto economic experiments. The idea is that we want to check how likely manipulation can be done and how successful it can be done within Ethereum. How do we do this? We basically incentivize market manipulation. So the way how the experiment will work is that we have some manipulator shares. They are sold during different auctions, and you will get money for those shares in case markets have been, like the average market manipulation has been, like the bigger the manipulation has been, the more money you will get from us. So the way how it works is that the market on which will be traded will have a fixed outcome, let's say 5. So everyone knows this market will always have the outcome 5. And now the manipulators will have to manipulate this outcome anyways, moving it maybe to 6 or 4. And everyone else in this market can make an arbitrage winning by just trading against this, moving the price back to 5, because it is known that this price will be 5 at the end. And still manipulators have to try to manipulate it to make winnings. And now we will track on like what time frame manipulators will be able to manipulate the markets, and hopefully we can show that there are enough people who observe markets and try to make money by moving the manipulation back to the actual value. But it's something you will see. The experiments have not started yet, but they will probably start very soon, maybe in a couple of weeks. And all of you are very are invited to join this experiment, either as a manipulator or as someone making money out of the manipulation by moving the price back. So it's basically free money if you are not a manipulator. And yeah, let's see how this goes. So now we've talked a little bit about Futarchy, gave some examples on how, like, what could be decided in companies using Futarchy. And now the problem is that there are also some challenges with doing this in companies. The biggest problem is that prediction markets are strongly regulated, mostly because it's considered to be insider trading, because you create incentives for everyone who has more knowledge than you to trade this knowledge. And it's basically a gray zone in most countries. So actually Google had a prediction market, and they use it internally to make some predictions for stuff going on inside Google. So it was not even, nothing was public. However, they still decided to shut it down because they were not sure if that's actually legal what they're doing, and they didn't want to have negative press, I guess. However, we believe if you do it just with play tokens without any money involved, that should probably be still alright to try it. Then another issue is, that's more a political issue. You can imagine that having a prediction market making decisions is something that decision makers don't like. So managers don't want to be replaced, obviously. And I think, of course, they should not be replaced. However, it would be good to have prediction markets as a secondary maybe opinion on decisions, and just having maybe a prediction market as part of the board of directors maybe at some point, just giving some indications on if decisions are good or actually terrible. That would be something really nice to have. I know there's been a company that recently added an artificial intelligence to the board of directors. I don't remember the name anymore, but it's somehow already shifting to this direction. And even though prediction markets is not AI, but it can leverage like a lot of knowledge that's already inside your company. It's just not visible because of the hierarchy and the internal communication. And that's why we think it would be very, very interesting to try it out for different use cases. Maybe try starting with something really really simple, like maybe really just like in a software company, like what is the release date, something like this. That's not so crucial. And then I think the way how it would work is that you let the prediction market run in parallel, and then over time you can see that the prediction market is actually on the right track and can make better decisions or can give better predictions than single employees. And I think when we are at this stage, then there will be much more acceptance towards this concept, and then it might be even possible to do more complex decisions using prediction markets. So Gnosis already trying some stuff out in this direction. So we have one client trying to leverage prediction markets for their clients actually. It's Wedbush Investment Banking. It's an investment bank located in Los Angeles. And what they actually do is they do consulting for investment bankers, for hedge funds. And now the idea is that rather that Wedbush is trying to get all this information, they let their customers actually participate in this by asking everyone about their estimates about financial investments, and then aggregating this value using a prediction market. So maybe they would not even know that they use prediction market. They don't know. They don't have to know about the concept. It's just more like a survey tool. And by just filling out those surveys, they are already participating in a prediction market. And then we can aggregate this using our Gnosis software and show a result to Redbush, and maybe also show it to the hedge fund managers, and hopefully can prove that a prediction market can make a better prediction than most of the investment bankers would do by themselves. So what does Gnosis actually provide? So we provide the full stack of software to make predictions and create prediction markets. So if you think about the concept of a prediction market, what's required? You have to be able to create markets. You have to be able to resolve a market. So for this, we need oracles, so parts of software which can leverage real-world information into the blockchain. They're decentralized oracles, they're centralized oracles, they are on-chain and off-chain oracles. All of this is integrated into Gnosis. Then obviously you need to do trading, and we offer a concept called automated market maker to solve the problem that like at the beginning a market doesn't have any liquidity. You can start a market, but as long as there's no one else in the market, you will not start trading. You will not place the first order. And that's a problem, because then most markets will have no volume, because no one's doing the first step. And that's why there's a concept called automated market maker, where you fund, I would describe it as a trading bot. Yeah, a trading bot which is creating orders for all outcomes at any time, and the price depends on the demand for the outcomes. So the higher the demand, the higher the price will be that the bot is calculating. And by having this, you basically solve the liquidity problem, because everyone can trade at any time. And when an outcome becomes very obvious, then the price will just get so high that there will be pretty much no earnings from this market anymore. We also spend quite a lot of time on off-chain trading. So what does this mean? We all know about the scalability issues that Ethereum has and that are not solved yet. However, there's one concept which seems to be, which is already quite advanced in development. That's called state channels, which allows to do trading without interacting directly with the blockchain for every transaction. It's like the most advanced version for Ethereum is Raiden. Raiden just recently successfully transferred the first transaction, I think from Indonesia to Brazil or something like this. That was entirely off-chain, so no transaction cost, nothing, no confirmation time needed. And we work very closely together with them to make it possible to use Gnosis on a very large scale, because otherwise Gnosis will just be a proof of concept. However, with this technology, you can actually scale to a global market. So we want to offer prediction markets as a service. So we want to make it as easy as maybe setting up a Facebook page to create a prediction market. And we think there are so many different use cases for prediction markets that we don't even know every. So many people came to us saying, this would be a good use case, and this could be done with a prediction market. However, we cannot provide the user interface for this because this is very specific to the target group. And that's why we want to help everyone else to build prediction markets on top of Gnosis, just leveraging everything that is needed for prediction markets, other than the user interface. That's why we built a easy to use JavaScript library if you want to create your own sophisticated Gnosis app on top of Gnosis. And we also offer like a wizard, step-by-step, creating a prediction market, like you would maybe set up a WordPress blog. And yeah, so we really look forward to see all those integrations. There's one, for example, for news websites. I don't know how the situation is in Japan, but in Europe, like less and less people trust news agencies because it's all about just creating a buzz and it's not about telling the truth anymore. So it would be quite nice to have a prediction market for different news, indicating how likely a news is actually true. And that would be another interesting example. So yeah, last but not least, we also want to do a crowd sale that will start probably in September around DevCon 2. Maybe some of you will go to DevCon 2. We will be there as a team. So what do we actually sell? We plan to sell all the DAO tokens, Gnosis DAO tokens that will ever be created. And what can you actually do to this decentralized organization on Gnosis? It is mainly used to run and govern the platform. So everyone participating in this crowd sale is also participating in the decision process of how the platform should develop. So if you are interested in building big applications on top of Gnosis, then you should probably be part of this crowd sale. Especially also because if you have a big chunk of shares or tokens in Gnosis, then you will not have to pay any fees for markets that are created on your servers, and you can basically use it for free. That's also why, even if DAO tokens would not generate any fee, they would still have value just because you can save fees. However, like from all markets which are not run by people who have DAO tokens, a fee will still be charged, and this fee will then be distributed among all shareholders. The other thing that we want to fund is Gnosis Fund. Gnosis Fund is for creating new skins on top of Gnosis, or new Gnosis apps. Like, for example, the sports betting website, which will be probably one of the most financially attractive apps that could be built on Gnosis as well. We want to put a lot of effort into making Gnosis the governance platform for decentralized applications, to use Gnosis to make decisions in decentralized applications. So obviously we plan also that Gnosis DAO will use Gnosis prediction markets to make decisions. So DAO shareholders will participate in this process using probably Futarchy markets to continue the development of Gnosis. So what are the properties that the DAO tokens have? One is they are necessary to use the platform without having to pay any fees. Then you are participating in the process of govern and maintain the Gnosis platform, and you will earn a proportion of the fees generated by everyone else. One thing that's quite interesting, so the question probably would also be like, what is the benefit for us founders of Gnosis? And there we have a new concept that we think has not been used before, because we leave the decision on how many shares should be created for the founders up to the investors. So the investor can decide to create shares for the founders when he is buying into Gnosis. So let's say you are investing, 10 Ether or 100 Ether, and you get, let's say, 100 DAO tokens for this investment. You can optionally create another 100, up to 100 DAO tokens for the founders team. So assuming that everyone would do this, then there would be a split of 50-50 after the crowd sale. Of course, we don't expect them to create as many tokens for us as they create for their own investment. However, we estimate it should be maybe something between 20 and 40%. It's important to say that when you do this, you're not diluting your own tokens, but all tokens. So the effect on yourself, on your own investment, is quite little. Founders like our shares will be locked for around 3 years. So we cannot cannot just say we're going to sell everything and that's it. We are committed to this on very, very long term, and also we want to incentivize our investors also to commit on the long term. The basic idea is that you can lock down your Gnosis DAO tokens, and the longer you lock them down, the more benefits you will get. It's not finally decided how this will look like in the end, but that's what we currently discuss. We definitely want to benefit people who are also committed to Gnosis on the long term as much as we are. Yeah, how would the governance work? Like the core team, that's all 4 people that are currently working on this, can make proposals up to a specific amount of money every month, which would be accepted by default. This will be just the salaries, basically. So just the monthly salaries will be accepted by default. Everything else, the community is involved in how the continuous development should look like. And yeah, most likely we will be using then Futarchy markets later on to do this. The thing is, we don't want to use Futarchy markets from the beginning because it's a new concept, and we have to figure out if that all makes really, yeah, like how successfully we can actually apply this. But yeah, we are keen on trying this out. One thing I would like to encourage you is, like, this is our first Gnosis app. It's called Hunch Game, and Hunch Game is for everyone. So if you know people who have no clue about Ethereum, they can still use the Hunch Game because it's a hybrid app. A hybrid app meaning that if you have no clue about Ethereum, we will manage your account for you. But if you want to participate completely decentralized, that's also okay. You can just use your local node or MetaMask or any other wallet to participate. And what you will bet on is just anything in the entertainment industry, like what will be the box office of this movie on this weekend, or I don't know, like what's the most, I don't know, any like Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go prediction that you could think of, and so like participating is completely for free. It's just to testing out everything basically for us. And if you are the one collecting most Hunch Game tokens within 1 month, then you will get a small reward. In this case, we will pay out $500 in Ether to the one who is the most successful on Hunch Game. So yeah, just hunchgamelaunchrock.com, and we will notify you as soon as it's out there. So yeah, thank you very much. That's already it. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer all of them, hopefully.
Okay, thank you very much. It's very wonderful presentation. I really appreciate it. So
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you to share your ambition to take advantage of artificial intelligence. And my question is about, okay, we can ask multiple question for one decision. For example, okay, you talked about pre-exit, but and you asked question about currency, but okay, pre-exit is not about currency, but there is multiple dimension. But you only focus on one dimension, and decision making is not. And I think if we ask multiple question, about multiple dimension, maybe we can make a good decision making. Because and is it work to ask multiple question? Does it make sense?
Sorry, the connection is a little bit bad. You were asking if it's okay to use only the currency for making this decision, or if that's sufficient, or if you should use all this, yeah.
Not just about the question about currency, but also the immigration, number of immigration increase, or so on. So.
Yeah, of course. So I completely agree, and I had also discussions with people from the UK who were saying, that's a terrible example, because he was also not in favor of the Brexit. And of course, there are like a lot of things that play into account, especially for such decisions that have such a big influence. So it's not only about the value of the British pound. It's not only about the growth of the economy, but it's also about cultural differences and so on. And of course, all this plays into account. And so, for example, if you would do decisions on such a large scale, like in a society, you should not use only one value. You have to use like many different values, combining them to come to really good decisions. For example, in Europe, like the gap between rich and poor is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So saying we would just focus on the growth of the economy would not necessarily say anything about the gap between rich and poor. So you could not only use one value, but you would have to use maybe something like the Gini coefficient, indicating if there has been a good distribution of wealth, for example. And yeah, I don't expect that like any of those decisions will be done using Futarchy like this. It's just to give an example on how it would work like from the concept perspective. However, yeah, well, like the problem is also that you can use Futarchy only on long-term decisions. So because it's a very complex.
What's the definition of long-term and short-term? How long?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, for example, if you have to make a decision within this day, then it doesn't make sense because there will be not enough traction on the market, and the market will not be efficient enough to make any clear estimate. Also, you have to always predict a value on the long term. Otherwise, it will be likely that someone can do really strong manipulation in short term, and yeah, this will be just too risky to use. Also, it's maybe inefficient because, like, basically during the whole time you lock down your money, and you will not be able to use this. Excuse me. Sorry. So we would say that we would only use Futarchy for decisions that are maybe targeting like big investments, changing the focus of the Gnosis platform within the next half year at least. So basically saying we want to make this next Gnosis application. For example, we want to make this sports betting skin. And for this we need a lot of resources, and for this we would then use Futarchy, saying under the assumption that we will create this application on top of Gnosis, what will be the price of Gnosis DAO tokens be at the time, let's say, when the product is launched? Yeah.
I see. Thank you very much.
I have one more question.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Thank you for presentation, first of all. And one simple question: why do you use blockchain for this?
Yeah. So that's a fair enough question. So so I try to answer it here in this slide. So there are, like, you could, like, in a company context, you could probably do it also without a blockchain. That would be possible. However, you would maybe still benefit from the blockchain in the way that it would be obvious that no one was manipulating it. But yeah, inside the company, I would say you could probably not do it with Ethereum. But as soon as you say you want to create, like let's say, a sports betting platform or anything like this, we argue that the biggest advantage of Ethereum is that you can create an open, permissionless platform that is not owned by a single party, and that's required to make really efficient markets.
One question about exactly about this moment. How do you provide the interface from the real event which happened inside the blockchain. So the smart contract, as I understand, is just the code, it's just the pure logic, which produce the outcome according to the data that you provided into it. So there should be one kind of the interface which used to push the data of the real event inside the contract, and this is the critical point.
That's absolutely right. That's what's called the Oracle, and we are working on standards for this right now, together with different Oracle providers. So there's a trade-off with oracles. So as you said, like, this is super crucial because the one providing this information has all the power in this market. So if, let's say, there's 10 million US dollars in one market, and the Oracle would say, like, would publish a wrong outcome, then all money would be gone. Like, everyone who was doing right predictions would not benefit but lose all their money. So there are different ways to solve this. So basically, using a decentralized Oracle can help. I'm not sure if you heard about Augur. I guess you have heard about Augur. So Augur is using a decentralized Oracle. That's what their key value proposition is. The downside, or maybe let me show you a slide here. Because I was thinking that this probably will be one question. Oh, sorry, that was. So, if you have a decentralized Oracle, the problem is that it's not efficient because it takes a lot of time to get a result of a decentralized Oracle. So, let's take, for example, Augur. Augur, they sold during their Crowdsale something called rep tokens, and these rep tokens are used by Augur shareholders to participate in a voting process to say what is actually the right outcome. And so the problem is that this takes really a lot of time. Just think about, I would create any kind of event, and then I would ask you to resolve it. Like I don't know, what was the GDP value of Germany in end of 2017? It would still require quite some effort from your side to figure out what the actual value is. And that's why we think it's not really efficient to do this. And what we believe what will happen is that in the case of Augur, people will just start following other people and just say, I vote whatever this person is voting for, so I don't have to care about this. And this would finally end up in something that's actually a lot less decentralized, because only a few key people are driving the decision process. So what would be a solution for this? We thought about the problem obviously too, and we think the best way is a two-step Oracle. What we do is we have a third-party Oracle in the first place. There are many different services like Realities and Oracleize, services that make it very easy to get this information and leverage into the blockchain. The problem is it's a third party, so if their server gets hacked, someone else could manipulate the result, and you would still have the same problem, like what you were describing, that an Oracle can basically alter everything. And that's why we say we're using the third-party information in the first place, what is very efficient because only one has to do this. And then we have a small challenge period. And during this time, someone can challenge this outcome. He will do this only in the case if he sees that the Oracle is publishing wrong information. And this will trigger something what we call the ultimate Oracle. And what the ultimate Oracle essentially does is that you can bet money on any of the outcomes, yeah. And if the front runner, so the outcome that has most money on it, is not changing within 24 hours, it will be settled for this outcome. And as soon as it's settled, everyone who was not placing money on this outcome is losing their money, and this money is distributed among all people who were betting on the outcome that won. So the basic idea behind this is that it will be much more easy to coordinate people around the outcome that's actually true than compared to an outcome that is obviously false. So it would take quite a lot of you would take quite a lot of risk if you say, I'm just betting on an outcome that's obviously wrong, just hoping that there will be no other person trying to bet against me. And to make this process a little bit more fair, we have a limit. So you cannot just say, I have 1 million Ether, and I put just 1 million Ether on one outcome, and then no one else is able to ever compete with me. But we make this as a percentage of the current money placed on the other outcomes. So there will be not such a big gap that it is unlikely that people can coordinate enough money on the other outcomes to change the front runner again. So the basic idea is just saying we have a two-step oracle. First step, using a third party to make resolving of events really easy. And just in case there's an oracle which publishes wrong information, someone can interfere and swap the oracle for a decentralized oracle. And we hope that this will be a lot more efficient also, because if you're a third-party oracle and you know at any point of time you can be swapped for a decentralized oracle, you have no incentive ever to publish wrong information.
Okay, I got it. And do you have any approach how to control that the oracles are not the players on the prediction market? So
no. Yeah, no. There's because it's completely anonymous, we have no influence on this. So oracles can also participate in the market. Of course, this creates kind of a conflict of interest. But that's why we have the decentralized oracle. Actually, you could even use Augur with Gnosis, since like every information that is published on the blockchain is available for everyone. Gnosis could use Augur as decentralized oracle if someone actually wants to do this.
Also, and the last question about oracles, and do you have any estimate cost of the infrastructure of the distributed oracles?
Sorry, the interest?
The estimated cost of the maintenance of the distributed oracles.
Okay. Yeah, so I think in case of Augur it's really costly. In case of Gnosis, we hope it will never be used. So we think just having the decentralized oracle in place will make sure that oracles have no incentive to cheat, because they know it can always be triggered. It's a little bit like, I think Vitalik was comparing it to the legal system. You're not going to do anything, or you should not do anything wrong, because you know there will be the police, and there will be a punishment for what you do, and that's why you should not do it. And in case of the blockchain, it is always very obvious if you do something malicious. Then in case still someone's doing something, triggering the ultimate oracle is kind of going to court, and then people can judge on what you did. And yeah, so there's actually a high risk in this, in manipulation. So in case of our oracle, if you are a third-party oracle and you do something wrong, you will lose all your reputation. So, and at the same time, most likely you will not benefit from this, because you will be replaced with a decentralized oracle. And then even judging on a wrong outcome on the decentralized oracle will be so costly, because you basically risk all your money if you bet on a wrong outcome, and just hoping that there will not enough people coordinating on the right outcome within 24 hours. And in terms of Augur, it is really super costly, just because Augur's business model is that the fees generated on markets are split between the market maker and the oracle. So let's assume you would do a market on, I don't know, like baseball championship in Japan, and there would be maybe a market volume of, let's say, 20 million. And then there would be a fee of, let's say, maybe $200,000, just for the information who won the Japanese baseball championship, the market maker would have to pay $100,000. And that seems quite a lot of money for just one simple information. And that's why we, why we think Augur will probably not succeed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any questions?
はい。
じゃあ、
Yeah.
少しbrief.
少し。I have to, yeah, this is Seki. I have two simple questions. When do you, when the Hunch game will, beta round will be closed? And the next question is, how much do you expect in your crowd sales? Two simple questions for you.
Yeah. So, the Hunch game will start as soon as we release also the code, maybe, and probably, well, we hope we can start it together with the Crowdsale. That would be a very nice advertisement for us. It depends a little bit on if you can get everything done. So the Hunch game doesn't have the highest priority right now, so we are still quite busy with preparing everything for the Crowdsale. However, the goal is to start together with the Crowdsale. That would be September 12th. So it's not far away, like in 1 month. And to answer the other question, like how much money we would like to raise, so it's we have different concepts for different amount of money we raise. So we kind of plan to raise around 5 million, but it's actually like if it goes above this or below this, we still know how to operate. So there is no cap on this Crowdsale, and we can operate with different scenarios. So we think there's a lot of stuff that can be built around this, and we know a lot of people who are interested in this. That's why we hope it may even go above this target amount, and there will be, like, the Crowdsale will work like this. The amount of tokens that you get is changing, like for the investment that you do, is changing over time. So at the beginning of the Crowdsale, there will be a steep, like a very small but very steep increase of value of tokens. So you would be, like, if you have already made the decision that you want to invest, you should do it just at the very beginning. Yeah, we want to get the ones who are already committed to invest in Gnosis to do it at the very beginning. So we have a very strong signal at the beginning that this is something many people believe in. So this will be just like a difference of maybe like 2%, but still, like, if you have already committed yourself somehow mentally, then you should not lose 2% just by waiting. And then there will be probably like 1 week where we trade for the same price, and then there will be a increase maybe to 1.5 over the next 2 weeks or so. It's not really finalized yet, just to give you an idea.
Okay. Well, yeah, similar to the DAO, right?
Yeah, right. Just like we were analyzing the Ethereum Crowdsale, and the Ethereum Crowdsale, there was like a huge influx in investments right before the value of the Ether token increased in this Crowdsale, and we thought it makes a lot more sense to have this this bump just at the very beginning, to have a very strong signal of who is committed to Gnosis. Just because this will maybe create also more media buzz, and we'll see.
Okay, thank you very much, Stefan. We really appreciate these presentations. Okay, this time is up.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
じゃあ、メリミの話、マリミのお話に移りたいと思います。
はい。
じゃあ、ルックさん、お願いいたします。
こんにちは、杉谷と申します。この前のハッカソンで作ったサービスがメルミっていうのを作ったんですけど、
もう上がってるんですか、サービス。
まだちょっと今、まだコードを書き換えてるところでして、それは後でちょっと言うと思うんですけど、
はい、
でこれなんかどういうサービスかっていうと、何を解決したかっていうと、結婚っていうのはどんどんなんかリスク増えてますよねっていう。例えば結構アメリカだと50% 離婚率があったりとか、日本でも最近 30% 超えたりとかして、もうほぼギャンブルに近くなってきてるで
いや、それは僕のシスです。いやいや。
でその他にも一生なんか一人の人とずっといられたとしても、どっちかが絶対先に死んでしまったりするので、その時に相続っていう問題も日本では結構大きい問題になってたりもします。で、他にもこれ特に日本特有、アメリカより日本特有だと思うんですけど、セクシュアルマイノリティの人とか、そういう法律が追いついていない結婚の形みたいなのも、ブロックチェーンを使ったら、解決できるんじゃないかなっていう。であとはあれですね、一夫多妻的なやつですもうサポートできるんじゃないかなっていうところで、アイデア膨らまして作ってみました。で本番出したのがこういう、ちょっとノイズが入って見にくいんですけど、本当に単純で、一番上にその2人のウォレットの ID を入れて、最初の人がそのプロポーザルって形、プロポーズする感じで、僕はこの財布に結婚し、僕の財布はこれでこの財布に結婚しますって書いて、で最初にこれは本当ミニマムなんで、最初に僕はいくらこの結婚に2人の口座に振り込みますよっていうのを書くんですよ。であなたはこれぐらい払ってください。でもし別れたら僕は何%もらえますよ。で相手はじゃあ何パーだけ取っていいですよみたいなのを最初の人が書くんです。で2人目の人は、これの画面を見て、で提示されたパーセントとか料金を見て、でそれでいいよってことだったらコンファームをすると結婚が成立する。でもしそんなんじゃ嫌だみたいな、もっと別れたら欲しいとかもっと最初に払って欲しいとかあったら、その人がここって変えるんですけど、そうするとその人にコンファームする権限がなくなって、また最初の人がコンファームか編集っていうそのサイクルを終えて、で2人がコンファームをちゃんとすると結婚が成立したっていうふうにされます。であとちょっとですね、下の方にも、ボタンが1個ありまして、そこには離婚っていうボタンがあって、それを押すとあそこに書かれた料金の合計がパーセントによって元の財布に戻されるっていう形が、アイデアで、僕たち使ったのは先ほど話もあったトラフトっていうコンセンサスが出してる、フレームワーク、イーサリアムのディベロップメントに特化したフレームワークを使っていて、で、ブロックチェーンとしてはテスト RPC で、本当はメタマスクを使いたくて、でなんとかしてテスト RPC とメタマスク、ここにあるやつですねを、リンクさせたかったんですけど、でもちょっとそれがうまくいかなくて、なのでカッコにしてあります。で、ちょっと実際に動かしてみたいんですけど、ちょっとコントラクトは今ちょっとエラー出て動かなくなっちゃったんですけど、まずやることはテスト、RPC を起動させてで、もうここにこれアプリのやつなんですけど、これをトラップしたらやる。でちょっと、ビルドに時間かかっちゃうんですけど、来たかな？もうちょい。この前ちょっとフロントのフレームワークを入れすぎて、今すごいウェブバックのバンドルに時間かかってしまうっていう現象が起こってます。でこういう画面で今ちょっとボタンを押すと、普通にエラーになって Web3 ないよって言われちゃうんですけど、で、
Web3
アイデアとしてはこういう感じで、さっきの画面で、ここでコンファームするかどうかで、もしここに疲れたらここで離婚ができるっていう形になっています。
どっちかが合意すれば離婚なんでしょう
それは、ここに一応あって、ちょっと正しい英語がこれはみんな考えても分かんなかったんですけど、こっちのちょっと見にくいですね、すみません。こっちに書いてあるのが、一人の人どっちかの一人が離婚したいって言ったらもうその時に離婚が成立する。で後の方が、コンセンシュアルって書いてあるんですけど、そっちの方は、2人がアグリーしないと結婚が成立しないっていう。だからそこまでインプリメントできなかった、本番でインプリメントできなかったので、一応ここは選択できないように今とかなってるんですけど、ちょっとインターフェースだけ動くんですけどって形になっています。で、もうちょっとトラフの説明をしたいんですけど、トラフを入れるのはすごい簡単で、今テスト RPC 走ったじゃないですか。で1個、ディレクトリ作って、でなんかサンプルアプリがもう入ってるんですけど、メタコインっていうのがあって、とりあえずなんでその名前のディレクトリを作って、でここでトラフルイニット、ちなみにこれNPM で動いているので、最初にノードと NPM をインストールしておくことが必要です。でトラフルイニットってやると、ここにはアプリのところができてて、でもうこれ最初にできているアプリなんですけど、基本的な構造としてはアップってところにフロント側のものが全て入っていて、でここにコントラクト、バックエンドみたいな感じですよね。でここにまとまっていて、でマイグレーションズっていうのはトラフが最近バージョン2ヶ月前にバージョン上がったんですけど、その時に2ヶ月前ぐらいか、バージョン上がったんですけど、その時に前までは一個一個デプロイしないといけなかったものとかを、ここでフローとして書けるようになった。でコントラクト同士のディペンデンシとかも制御しやすくなったっていうことです。でこれ動かすためには、ここにさっきのメリーじゃなくてメタコインのところに来てもらって、トラフルのマイグレートってやると、最初にコントラクトをディプロイとかここに従ってやってくれて、今コンパイルとディプロイやってて、できたのでトラフルサーブってやると、このアプリが動き出す。で今ここに来るともう動いてるのかな。そう、これで今動きました。で例えばトラフルは最初から Web3 を、入れていてくれているので、ここで使うことができて、そうですね、ちゃんと出てきますね。で Web3 とやると、このテスト RPC で走ってるやつが全部取れてる。まだ Web3 で最初から入ってますよみたいな。でそうですね。で基本的にこれ僕がちょっと書いたこれちょっとまたサンプルアプリから変わっちゃうんですけど、僕がこれ書いたコントラクト、メアリーミーのコントラクトで、僕がシンプルに最初メアリージっていうのを作って、でこれが1個の結婚の契約書になるんですけど、今のところまだ2人のパートナーしか入れられなくて、とりあえずこのパートナーっていうストラクトが作ってあって、ウォレットアドレスといくらと、スプレッドシェア、別れた時にいくらもらうかみたいな。で最初にもうパートナーと01って作っちゃって、でファーストペイマン最初にもう最初の人が払っちゃって、でここにデータを入れてみたいな感じで、これの問題点としてはこれ1個のもうこのアプリの1個のコントラクトで1つの結婚しかマネージできないので、今後メアリッジファクトリーみたいなものを別のコントラクトを作って、でこのメアリッジをいくつも発行してくれるコントラクトを作る必要が出てくるなっていうのが問題点ですかね。でちなみにこのアプリはトラフル最初からデフォルトでビルドをやってくれるのがあって、例えば最近リアクトの JSX とかそういうファイルでも全部 ここに書いていくと増やしていくと全部コンパイルしてくれるビルドしてくれるんですけど、それでもNPM いっぱい最近のノードのやつ使いたいとかNPM とかいろんなパッケージ使いたいってなってくると結構カスタムが難しいので、フロント側だけを僕はとりあえず Webpack を入れて、で、Webpack コンフィグみたいなので、これもちょっとバージョン変わってから、ごたごたしててこのコンフィグファイルもちらほら変えたりしたんですけど、で、これで、バンドルしたファイルを、流し込んだわけですけど、勝手になんかここに Webpack って書くとビルド Webpack って書くと、トラフルがやってくれるようになっていて、そのサーブって言った時に勝手に Webpack 起動してビルドしてくれるようになってます。はい。ちょっとなんか飛び飛びの説明になってしまったんですけど、
質問
こんな感じで
なんかいっぱいありそうだな、これ質問何でもいいです。ご自身の、ちょっとご自身の質問で構いません。
なんかすみません、このチーム結構なんか日本人の大学に結構なんか混合チームで結構意思疎通が大変になってますと聞いてるんですけど、それどうだったんですかね。
意思疎通が
結構なんか英語が結構強かったみたいな。
最初のコミュニケーションコストはやっぱりちょっとかかりましたね。はい、文化も違ったりとかして、ただ一人ドイツ人の人いたんですけど、向こうの方ではいろんな形の結婚もサポートされてたりとか、婚前契約が普及してたりとかするので、話は早くて、すごくよく分かってくれたと。だから仕様について詰めるときはちょっとつったもんだったですかね。
なんかすみません、この前なんか一橋大学のなんか芸の人が自殺とかしててから、なんか要するになんかグラフ理論でもなんかツイッターみたいになんかフォローする関係というかなんか双方向のなんか形式って難しいなって芸の場合単方向になってるとかって思ったんですけど、こういうのあればもっとなんかそういうオプティニティというかゲイとかロリとか著作とかにも結構チャンスとか増えていくものなんでしょうか。ちょっとなんかそういうネットワーク理論というかそういう感じかもしれませんけど。
基本的にこれはどういうことかっていうと例えばゲイをサポートしたいから作ったっていうわけではなくて、どんな人でも結婚をする、で一番法律が保障しなきゃいけないのは、経済的な処理が一番強いと思が必要だと思ってて、なんで、財布と財布を結婚させるっていう形にしたらもっと話が早いんじゃないかなっていうのが今度発想です。で将来的には、これで、月々もう最初にいくらかのお金を口座にバンと入れてもらって、でそのお金からその口座から、月々例えば旦那さんは奥さんで何割ずつ子供の口座とか家とか車のローンに払うっていうのを決めて、でそれを、毎月なり、自動的にお金を動かして、共通アカウントに動かすみたいなで、それを、クレジットヒストリーみたいな形で残して、でまたブロックチェーンに登録してあげるっていうのがあると将来的に信用度とかも分かるのかな。であと離婚って結構離婚した後に慰謝料とかあったりとか養育費の請求とかあるんですけど、払われないケースも結構あったりとかして、そういう場合にそのクレジットヒストリーみたいな仕組みがあったらもっとしっかり払われるようになるんじゃないかなって思って。
それってやっぱりなんかお金なんですね。全てなんかお金というかなんかイーサリアム上だったらなんかいろんなお金以外の価値変換が結構可能というか、
スロットとか普及したらもしかしたらじゃあ離婚したら奥さんが車持ってきましょうみたいなことも書いていけると思います。家に帰ったら開かなくなるはい、そういうことも
結構そういうシンプルな形でお金以外の価値変換というかお金以外のペットを含む結構サイド化ってできるのなんですよ。本当にペット離婚する時の
ペットに鍵がどうつけるかちょっと検討するところではあるんですけど、いろんな可能性はあると思います。ありがとうございました。
サイトって公開したりとか、なんか GitHub にソースが上がって
一応 GitHub には上がっていて、
じゃあ後でスラックで
話して今のところは公開されてます
ちょっと後でトレースして自分でもちょっと動きを
ありがとうございます。
はい、いいですか。はい、 コミットは随時しているので、
ありがとうございます。
質問。どうぞ。
はい。
トランプ使ったことないんだけど、使うにあたってこうなんかこう、アドバイスというか、なんかここハマりやすいから気をつけてね。
僕がハマったんですけど、実際当日に僕トラフルを入れたのが5月とかそれぐらいだったんですよ、最初に入れて。でその時からアップデートをしなくて NPM を。で当日やったら最初に僕がイニットしたんですけど、ただなんか他のメンバーのところで動かないみたいな、なぜだみたいな、バージョンが古すぎるみたいな。で2.0 を超えてからだいぶ仕組みが変わって、前までマイグレーションなかったりとか、一個一個ディプロイしてたりとかして、だいぶ勝手が変わっていて、でそこが結構ネックになって、でウェブパック今回入れる時もそこでちょっと変えない、前一応出てたチュートリアルとかがもう古くなってたりとかで、実際記事でもなんかこれトラフとメタマスクのやつなんですけど、でちょっと前になんかアップデートされてて、今このガイドはちょっと古いよみたいなことが書いてあったりとか、なんでGit とかでちょっと聞きながらやってったって感じですね。で今もそんな感じでやってます。
ちなみにチームの中で初めてトラフル使った人っていますか？いましたか？
一人フロント主に書いてた人は一回使ったことがあった。
他は全員使ったことはなくて。
そうですね。
結構その人たちがハマったトラブルとかっていうのは把握はしていますか？
結構なんかペアコードみたいな形で、ペアコーディングみたいな形でやってて、僕ともう一人の人がコントラクトの方を書いていて、もう一人とそのドイツの人がフロントの方を見ていたので、2人で相談しながら、なんでそうですね、どっちも使い方知ってる人が一応いたっていう形なんで。ただNPM の開発の人がエクスプレスとかで開発している方だったら、大体予想がつくようなフレームワークの構成になっているのかなと思います。
ちなみにフロントとバック、フロントとそのコントラクターは分かれた話ですけど、フロントが、最終的に JS で書いて、それそのままなんかさっきのトラックのなんか JavaScript とかに乗っけるような、そんな感じの結合のイメージですかね。
すみません、もう一度。
すみません、フロントとフロントとバックエンドの結合の仕方に関しては、フロントがなんか JS 書いて、それをなんかそこのトラックのなんか JavaScript のところに貼り付ける感じのイメージですかね。そうですね。
でそこで Web3 がもう入っているので、Web3 の使ってコールしたりとか。
はい。なるほど。
あともうなんかトラフルの場合は最初にもうなんか変数とか作っといてくれるので、例えばなんかなんだろう、これだったらメタコインで、例えばもうこれメタコインっていうコントラクトじゃないですか。でそのメソッドがいろいろあるんですけど、ここでメタコインって言ったらもう出てくる。ちゃんとこれ僕何もマップしたりしてないんですけど、もう勝手にやっといてくれるっていうのはすごい楽。
Web3 はこれはプリリクイジットなんですね。マンダトリーなんですね。
Web3 はそうですね。はい。ただ Web3 は単体でも使えますし、別に一緒に使
いやすいですか？ Web3 インターフェースって。
僕は他にやり方が知らないので、はい。一番使いやすいと思いますけど。
そっちが主流になるんですかね。
例えば佐藤さんとかも結構このなんかトラフルユーザーですよね、確か。
そうなんですよ。使ってましたね。でもそれプロミスされてていいと思います。
線がこれ使ってる。これ使ってる。そう。ってことはじゃあ、今本当に実用的なアプリを作ってる人は
使うんじゃないでしょうかね。これが出る前はエンバークとかいろいろあったと思うんですけど、最近あんまり聞かなくなってるし、方向性もよくわからないみたいな。いや、
まともに使えるものだとは知らなかったです。使えるんですね。
なんか、私も使ってる画面初めて見たの、なんかすごい使いやすそうだなっていうのが。はい。
質問ある人？質問ないですか？とりあえずじゃあコードを上げていただいたらちょっとアプリプレスしてみて。
はい、どんどんプレリクも送ってもらったら嬉しいです。はい。
素晴らしいですね。
はい、ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。